Well, welcome back to the Vintage Tech. We have a real piece of vintage electronics for you today. This is the RCA M1 12875 wire recorder, or as they called it back in 1950, the magnetic recorder. And the magnetic recorder here, made by RCA, is a wire recorder that stores audio onto a cartridge. And we'll look in more detail at this cartridge. This cartridge has two spools of wire on it. The wire is about the diameter of the human hair. It's very thin wire. You can see it glistening there in the video. There's two spools, one on top of the other inside of here. And RCA came up with the idea of putting them in a cartridge so that you would avoid having to wind the spools onto wind the wire onto spools and it getting tangled up and making a mess. And that was the idea behind the cartridge for this unit. I have several other wire recorders in my collection, but this is probably one of the strangest, maybe the rarest of all of those that were operating in late 1940s and early 1950s. This RCA wire recorder has a built-in amplifier and recorder, a built-in speaker, and it uses an external microphone to record the audio. We'll demonstrate that shortly. But this unit was in slight disrepair. Most of the contacts and switches were corroded and needed to be sprayed and cleaned and worked a little bit. The capacitors in the unit are original. There are a lot of paper caps, as you'll see in a moment, and a couple of electrolytic caps, 2 or 3 electrolytic caps that I have not replaced in this unit because they, for the moment, have reformed and seem to be working beautifully. So I'm not going to mess with it. I'm not going to do any kind of cap replacement on this. So I'll let you see the rest of the video and we'll walk through how we did all of that. One of the fun parts of this is this little RCA label right here, and this was missing. This RCA label was missing, and my son and I used the CNC machine to create a new label that looks as good, maybe even better than the original label that was had popped loose from the front of the machine. We'll look at some closer views of that in just a moment. But I think that's what this is all about. This is about the 1947 to 1950 RCA model M1 12875 wire recorder or magnetic recorder. So let's take a closer look at the RCA M1 wire recorder. This was before we actually did a cleanup job on this unit. You can see the steel handle here. And we're looking at the back of the unit where you have an external speaker connection and a microphone connection. And the unit is made out of a black phenolic plastic or Bakelite. It's missing its little label, but there's the switches that are tone control, motor control or function switch of play, record, and rewind. Play, record, and rewind. And depending on the channel that you were working with, channel 1 or channel 2, or they called it the black channel and the red channel. So you had 2 spools on the cartridge that would allow you to record 15 minutes on each spool. And then you would record a playback and rewind independently of each one. There was a tone control and a volume control. And the volume control does impact the recording volume as well. Down there in the middle you can see the drive shaft that ran off of a big motor, and then you see those 2 horizontal bars. Those are the playback and record heads that contacted the wire inside this cartridge. This cartridge is driven by these tires, these rubber tires, and they are seem to be in very good shape. but the motor would one direction or the other, and it was designed to record and play back independently on two separate wires. They were not a continuous loop. And then additionally, they had a indexing system that lets you know where you were on the red line or the black line between 0 and 15 minutes. 15 minutes, 0 to 15, and 15 to 30. So that's what that was all about. And the cartridge just snaps right in without any trouble into the top of the recorder. The unit weighs 24 pounds, and the cartridge itself is about 3 pounds. So there's an amplifier control switch and a motor control switch. And both of those have to be turned on in order for the unit to operate. And you can't see it really well, but the motor is spinning in there. I'm feeling the motor spinning as we're talking right now. You can see the shaft of the motor that comes in contact with the rubber tires. You can also see the two horizontal bars in there that the wire glides over and touches, and those are the record, erase, and playback heads that produce the sound and record the sound and erase the sound on the wire, the magnetic recording. I'm going to go ahead and start the motor. The motor is running. I don't know if you can hear it. Yeah. Audio is all the way up. Let's turn the motor off. Put the cartridge in. Turn the motor on. Makes a lot of racket, doesn't it? Okay, and switch it the direction. There's play. All right, let's take a look at make sure that the wires are not broken. You can see the wires glistening in the light there. So let's just do a rewind. And this timer should move, and it is moving. But we're going wrong. No, we're going the right way. We're going to rewind it all the way. The black is one wire and the red is the other wire, so it depends on which direction that the wire spool is running. And it's 15 minutes on each wire, so we've got a total of 30 minutes on the tape, on the wire, not the tape. So we've got the amplifiers turned on here, and this light should modulate, flicker, similar to what we saw on the Edaphone wire record player. It should flicker when it's playing or when you're recording. But let's just let it keep on running here. It's pretty noisy, and we may have some caps on the audio that are going to impact the audio, but we've got it in rewind on one side right now. So this is one side, play, rewind, and record, and this is the other side, play, rewind, and record. Now when I say side, I'm talking about the two different wires, and one of the wires is running one direction and one of the wires is running the other direction. And the reason that they do that is so that you can start at 0 and record all the way, and then when it stops, you flip to record to the other way, and it just records the other direction. So you don't have to rewind the wire to continue your 30-minute up to 30-minute recording. So let's stop and see if we've got any audio here. Don't hear any. Let's listen, see if we got any the other direction. Yeah, I think I've got some audio issues. We've got a 4 or 5 tube amplifier in here, so we may have an amplifier that's bad, or we just may be the wire may be blank. But we'll go ahead and rewind it all the way, and I'll let it rewind off tape, and then we'll see if we can get it to play. So we're hearing an air organ similar to what I repaired on another video, and they're playing an organ there. The gain is not real hot, but we'll see what else we can find on this tape. Okay, this light is either burned out or we got a circuit issue here. Let's see if we have anything playing on the other channel, on channel 1. Alright, what we're going to do is record there. Since we don't have anything right now, I'm going to hook up the microphone. Actually, I already have the microphone hooked up. So we'll adjust the volume all the way up, and we're just going to talk in the microphone and see if we're getting any recording. So I'll go to record on this side, and we'll see if we get any recording. Alright, we're testing 1, 2, 3, checking 1, 2, 3 into the RCA M1 recorder, wire recorder. Let's check and see if we're getting any recording. Alright, we'll rewind. Alright, and then we'll play. Okay, no recording. I think what we'll do is we'll pull this apart on the camera, and we'll check out all the tubes, we'll check out the caps, we'll check out electrical. I've got a schematic. Don't know how detailed it is, but we definitely want to figure out why we're not recording onto the wire. But the wire is still intact, which is great. I'm really surprised it's holding together as it is. Very encouraged by that, and it seems to be advancing fine. We're hearing it play, and it's got some recording of some piano and guitar singing, and not sure what that was. An air organ or a organ, just not sure. But we'll keep listening to it and see if we can find some really cool stuff on it. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get this thing taken apart. Okay, we're going to get into the unit and see if we can address the volume and recording issue. It didn't record for us. So we'll pull out, there's 2 screws missing here. So apparently somebody's been in this thing before. Okay, light bulb was broken. That's probably that light bulb. And that's probably this record light, which wasn't blinking, remember? And it's supposed to. So let's lift that off. This is actually in beautiful condition. There's no cracks. And pretty incredible that plastic is in one piece. I'm really encouraged by that. The original sticker, magnetic recorder. Look at that. Magnetic recorder. Location of the radio tubes are here. And power transformer, probably an audio transformer. And the lamp, yeah, is up under here, and it comes off. This just slides off. There's the lamp holder. And it just slides off. There we go. And that was this lamp that is burned up. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to find one because it used, it's an RCA 991. I'll have to look that up. It looks like a neon bulb, honestly. Looks like a neon bulb. So we'll have to explore that on the schematic to see what kind of power it's using for that record modulation. And that just takes the cover off. So then to pull the base off, let's see, we pull these screws out. We want to look at the base to see what the electronics look like. Some electrolytic caps here. And we did have some decent audio. I was encouraged by that. Not really loud, but it was intelligible. So let's see now. Got any more screws? Flip this over gently. There we go. Okay, base just comes off. Okay, we got some writing here. Oh, George, I'm not going to give you the name of the guy. Well, I can give you the name. George. I can't read his last name, and he's from Hickory, North Carolina. 1938. 1938. Wow. Okay. There's a adjustment screw here for this. Forgot what that was. I saw it on the schematic. Okay, the fan's running. We saw that. These look all original. So let me get the light on here. I mean, turn it up where you can read it, see it. There we go. And all these paper caps. So the microphone is here, and then it goes over. That's probably a microphone gain. I don't know that, but I'm guessing since it's all right in here. It goes over to this tube, The switches are dirty because I adjusted this, or turned the switches and had audio and then didn't have audio. So we will spray the switches and then work those. Then I'm not going to do a whole lot more to it. I'm not going to fiddle with it. The cord is in beautiful condition, very good condition. Even the plug end is in great condition. Looks like it might have had a new cord put in it, but that definitely is a 20s era, not 20s, but 40s era plug. It's got the original tie marks on the wiring, so and it looks like an original strain relief here. So I'm guessing that the cord has not been replaced. But oops, my phone. Every time that happens, I'm reaching for something, and then this haptics on my watch buzzes, and it feels like a shock. And I haven't had anything hooked up to this for 15-20 hours. So anyway, that's kind of funny. I'm always doing that. I usually take my watch off because of that. Because when I'm reaching in here and touching something, the phone, this will buzz and shock me, quote unquote, shock me. But anyway, that was good timing. We got that on the camera. And you saw me jump. That's not the first time that's happened. I've been working on a television set with my fingers down in the television set with the power off, and the watch will buzz. And I've actually hollered more than once when that happens. But okay, so let's lay this down and let's get the schematic out, and then we'll do a little bit of a look at the schematic and compare if this might be a record gain adjustment. I don't know. There's a fuse there. Got external speaker here. The internal speaker is in here, up inside here, and that's the face of this. It's the internal speaker. And then we've got an electrolytic here, a transformer of some kind here, and then all the tubes and a couple of electrolytics over here. And then there's a great big motor, honestly, great big motor. It's about that big around up inside here. You can't see it really well, but that's almost the diameter of the motor is that fan. And then it's about this tall. And then the drive, the cap stand is up inside here. It just sticks up inside. So pretty impressive that it has a big giant motor, and I guess that's part of the reason why it's so heavy. Plus the fact that there's a couple of big transformers here that add to the weight. So the motor and those two transformers accounts for the 24 pounds for sure. 24 pounds and some change. Heavy duty. There's a serial number on here, and this is an M1 12875 model magnetic recorder, 90 watts. Uses, I can give you the numbers of the tubes. If I could read them. 6J7, 6 SJ7, 6V6GT, 5Y3GT, and a 6SJ7. So there's 3 6SJ7s, and then a rectifier tube, and probably an audio output tube. All right, and we're working around the collection here of portable and tiny tape recorders. There's some of them there, and the rest of these are battery-powered tape recorders, several shelves of tape recorders that we've repaired. Many of them were repaired online. So we'll get back to the repair of the RCA magnetic recorder, M1. We have hooked up a microphone, the Webster Chicago microphone, into the unit. I used one of these mono 1/4 inch to 3.5 millimeter jacks adapters, and put it in here, and would get a faint audio, and then every once in a while audio would work. So this is probably bad, so I replaced it with another one that I've got here, microphone adapter, cable adapter, and plugged into the Webster Chicago microphone. And so we're going to, I just recorded a section, so let's see.
Are in serious question.
And it's working. Let me turn it down. Yeah, it's working great right now.
Clearly with the regular hookups.
All right, so let's do another recording right there. Okay, we're testing on the Webster Chicago microphone, and we're talking within just a couple of inches of the mic, and we're hoping to get a decent recording now on the wire recorder for the RCA M1 12875. This is a great little piece of technology and a great vintage tech experiment. I've sprayed all of the contacts and all of the pots and all of the tube sockets, and everything is nice and clean now. I have not replaced any of the paper capacitors, so we'll have to do that if we need to in order to get it to play or record. But let's rewind this and see what it sounds like now. All right, we're going to go through a rewind cycle here, which is real time, so it doesn't do a fast rewind. It does a standard real-time rewind, and we'll just have to let it rewind there. We're going to just jump right in here and see if it's actually playing.
All the pots and all of the tube sockets and everything is nice and clean now. I have not replaced any of the paper capacitors, so we'll have to do that if we need to in order to get it to play or record. But let's rewind this and see what it sounds like now.
All right, well, that turned out great. I'm real happy with it. For not having replaced any of these filter caps, the filter caps back up here, the electrolytics, and not having replaced any of these paper caps. Very, very encouraged to see how it's doing. The gain is, I would say it's about 80%. It's not 100%, but for 1950s technology, I think we're doing really well. So I think what I'm going to do is just put this. The phone is interfering with the audio channel here. I think I'm just going to put the covers back on it, and we'll do some recording of some music just for fun, and then we'll see how it does and call this a one and done kind of situation. All right, I was wiggling the power connection, and then get to the end of the wire, and the unit shuts off, so it's able to turn off once it gets to the end of the wire. And so let's rewind it, and then we'll do another recording. I think there's audio on this side of the, it's pretty weak. There we go. Sounds like they're playing one of those organs to me. All right, we'll switch to the other side, the other direction, so the motor reverses, and there's nothing here at 29. Let's back all the way up to 29, and then we'll record one last time with the Webster Chicago microphone. Go to record, All right, we're recording on the Webster Chicago microphone on the RCA M1 12875 wire recorder. It's called a magnetic recorder, and it's doing a beautiful job for a 1952 recorder. And I've got to put the modulation bulb in over here. I've got those on order so that this will flicker when the recording is occurring, but the green light seems to be working okay. And so let's get, we're at 29.5 right now. So let's rewind it and see how the audio sounds.
Then the playback would be intermittent or completely missing. So I think we're recording now on the Webster Chicago microphone, and we've got a good solid recording.
Okay, well, we had some really good recordings there. I'm going to try one more online here for you just to confirm. And I wish I had the lamp over here hooked up, but you can clearly see that the lamp was exploded. The LED, or excuse me, the neon lamp, the RCA 991, RCA 991. And I've ordered a couple of these from eBay. They'll be in next week, but we'll see what kind of recording this sounds like now.
And the speaker connection screw was loose.
By the way, the volume is super good now.
But if that speaker jumper was loose, then the
I can't even turn it all the way up.
Would be intermittent or completely missing. So I think we're recording now on the Webster Chicago microphone, and we've got a good solid recording. Help erase.
All right, very pleased. So let's, I think I'm going to leave this knob on here. I like that big wing on there identifying the position of the record. And I think I'm just going to leave that instead of creating a new knob. I think I'm going to leave that one on there. I don't know if that's original. It didn't look like it in the drawings, but we're going to leave that on there. We'll turn the audio off. We'll wait until we get a bulb next week, a neon voltage regulator bulb, they're called. These are not cheap. These are about 10 bucks a piece, best I could find. And with shipping, maybe around that price with shipping. So I'm anxious to see how that'll work with modulating the voltage so you can see it flickering if it does. But so far we've not had any problems with the wire. Fingers crossed that it's not broken or won't break while we're continuing our tests. This microphone is not any good. I don't know what's causing the problem. Probably it could be a bad connection. I checked the connections on the wiring and it's fine, but it could just be a bad element. But I do have another Webster Chicago microphone over there in inventory with a different end on it. So I think I'll put this this 1/4-inch jack end on that Webster Chicago mic, and I'll keep these together. That won't be a problem. I can replace this, and I'll set that mic back up on the shelf as a display microphone. So we'll at least have a nice Webster Chicago original that is was designed around the same era as these 1950s sets. So before I publish this video, I will get the bulb put in and hooked up and confirm that it's working, and then we'll put the cover back on. There's the cover. We'll clean it up like a new one, and then we'll put it back on top here and do one final recording with some music and voice, and we should be able to call this one complete. We're going to check the record light now, see if we've got an actual record light. So let's put it on record. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, we don't have any record light, but we are recording, and I guess we're recording. We've got it on record, on the red recording, the red side. So let's see if we may not have a voltage on that socket. I'm not sure, or the bulb could be bad. They were called new old stock, but they might be bad, who knows. So let's rewind it and see if we've got any recording. Let's see if we've got a recording audio now, and we'll see if it's going to work with playback. Okay, so the audio light doesn't blink and playback. Some sets, they said that it did flicker in playback and that was normal, but it is flickering. And so I think we may have one bad bulb here or a bad connection. That doesn't look too great, honestly. That connection doesn't look all that great. That might be what was wrong. So anyway, we're going to put this back in here and see if we can see it through the lens clearly. Okay, well, yeah, we've got a good flickering light now. It's clearly working, and I'm talking directly into the microphone, and it is flickering. So the recording is giving us some indication. Oops, I'm sorry. It is giving us some indication that the recording functionality is working. I'm curious if the gain, I'm going to turn the gain all the way off. Okay, now I've turned the gain all the way up. That does make a difference in terms of how hot the recording is. So the recording is working now. That if we need to, in order to, let's back it up. Okay, all the way up. That does make a difference in terms of how hot the recording is. So the recording is working now. That. All right, great. All right. So we've got the lamp in there. We can put it all back together now, put the screws back in it. Got an extra lamp here, assuming that it works. Don't know. And we'll do one final test with some music. Okay, we couldn't complete this video without doing a wow and flutter test on the leader LFM39A wow and flutter meter. And so I've recorded the 3000 hertz tone, 3 kilohertz tone onto the wire. And so we're going to play it back and look and see what kind of wow and flutter we've got there. We're at the end of the tape, end of the wire. Let's put it on play. And once the signal starts to play, it should kick in here. I think I interrupted the signal. So we're on 1%. So we're reading the top scale. And look at that. The drift is almost negligible, 0. And look at the wow and flutter. We're down around 0.6, 0.7, which is extremely good for a recording device of this era. Very impressed. Some of the lowest numbers I've seen on any recorded devices compared to tape devices. So that is pretty incredible. Very impressed with the quality. Of course, we're running at 24 inches per second, 2 feet per second. And it's really doing a great job.